The presence of a religious icon medal in an automobile does not constitute grounds to search a vehicle during a traffic stop, ruled an Oregon court. After an Oregon state trooper stopped Manuel Meza Garcia for a traffic violation, he noticed an image of a figure called Saint Jesus Malverde on a necklace hanging from the rearview mirror. That individual is not a canonized Catholic saint, but rather an early 20th century outlaw who was killed in Sinaloa, Mexico, while robbing from wealthy landowners on behalf of the poor. He was subsequently embraced as a Robin Hood figure by Mexico's rural population. He has become an informal patron saint of many Mexican drug smugglers as well, a fact that prompted the state trooper to conduct a search which turned up evidence of narcotics offenses. However, that evidence was ruled inadmissible by Douglas County Circuit Judge Francis Elaine Berg, who decided that the mere existence of the medallion was insufficient to provide reasonable grounds for the search.
Last fall, Nicholas Finch was elected sheriff of Florida's Liberty County, winning the office on a campaign that focused on the sheriff's role as a defender of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. On June 4th, Finch found himself locked up in his own jail and relieved of his office by Republican Governor Rick Scott after being charged with official misconduct for dismissing a concealed weapons charge. According to Finch's attorney, Jimmy Judkins, the sheriff exercised his lawful prerogative by deciding not to charge the individual for a technical violation of an ordinance that is incompatible with the Second Amendment. One Liberty County resident told a local TV station that Finch was doing his job and people didn't like it.
According to the Kenya Police Service, there has been a threefold increase in the involvement of police officers in serious crimes during the first 5 months of 2013. The report, which is entitled Kenya Police Service Comparative Figures, documents that there has been a dramatic increase in the number of police-involved killings and robberies, and a slight reduction in nonviolent economic crime and drug offenses. During the same period, there were 199 reported cases of police-related suicide and 155 deaths through dangerous driving.
Speaking as a prosecution witness in a Houston courtroom, Police Chief Charles McClellan Jr. said that the actions of former police officer Drew Reiser in beating a teenage burglar made him sick to his stomach. Reiser was one of 4 officers who were indicted for the incident, which in Chief McClellan's view was an egregious use of force. The suspect, Chad Holly, was 15 years old at the time of the March 2010 arrest, during which he was surrounded by at least 5 officers after he fell to the ground after trying to hurdle a police car. Several of the officers kicked and struck him in the head, abdomen and legs. McClellan testified that the video made it clear that Holly had surrendered and offered no active resistance to the officers. Reiser, who is charged with a single count of official oppression, faces a year in jail if convicted.
Utah resident Todd May was tasered twice and punched repeatedly in the face by Utah state troopers who wrongly accused him of swallowing drugs. Eric Hill and his family were terrorized by a 2 a.m. raid when an Ogden, Utah SWAT team raided their house looking for an Army deserter. Salt Lake City resident Scott Simmons lost his daughter when she was shot by the Joint Criminal Apprehension Team just last January. They were just a few of the dozens of people who attended a rally in Ogden organized by the family and friends of Matthew David Stewart, who committed suicide in his cell last May while facing murder charges as a result of a January 2012 SWAT raid on his home in search of marijuana plants. Stewart maintained that he did not realize that the armed intruders, many of them wearing long hair and unkempt beards as a result of undercover assignments, were police officers. Many who attended the June 4th event in Ogden wore t-shirts inscribed with the words, "I am Matthew Stewart." The protest march gathered at an elementary school and then marched quietly to the home of Weber County Prosecutor D. Smith, who had sought the death penalty against Stewart. They were met there by several dozen police officers in civilian attire who took photos of the protesters.